Guitar YouTube is full of wonderful drills and exercises you can do to perfect your playing. But if you're looking to improve your chordal knowledge and get some new chord shapes under your fingers, I am a big fan of using actual music as your teacher instead. So today what we're going to do is I'm going to give you a framework as well as maybe some new chord voicings so that you can take these and implement them in your own playing with songs that you actually want to play. So I often think of music as a language, and I actually had to learn French as an adult. And when learning French, I initially took the Duolingo route, which I'm going to use as the example as drills, which again, drills are great, and Duolingo was incredibly helpful early on in my journey of learning French, but very quickly I learned that actually learning real phrases that I would use every day were significantly more practical than learning how to say my sister is wearing a green dress. Now, when playing, what this might look like is, let's say that I've mastered my open chords, my bar chords, and now maybe even some crazy seventh chords. The first place that I always recommend students go to learn some new chords and learn some new voicings is closed position triads. Now what these are small, movable shapes that are relatively easy to get to. They're relatively movable and they sound fantastic. So for today's video, I'm going to use Chappell Roan's smash hit from last year, Good Luck Babe. And I'm going to show you how you can use real music. So you could replace Good Luck Babe with any song that you're working on. But we're going to look at some different ways that we can play this. So if I were to look at the chords on Ultimate Guitar and just kind of play what came to my head, I would probably end up with something that sounds like this. It's G, A, D major, to B minor. Sounds great. Nothing wrong with that. But what if I wanted to actually bring in some color? Or even, again, just use this as an exercise to figure out more stuff. Because when we're playing in this way, it can oftentimes be beneficial to just work on using real material to explore. Because real songs that you love and want to play are more interesting and more fun to practice than just drills that YouTube or I or your guitar teacher told you to do. So what we're going to do here is we are going to find closed position triad shapes of those chords on the D, G, and B string. So I'll have diagrams popping up here. If you want to download the chord sheet for this, check out my Patreon. All of my patrons get early access to videos, exclusive behind the scenes sneak peeks, as well as the diagrams that pop up in these videos. But the first step I would do is I would say, I call this finding similar inversions. And what that means is we're going to play root position chords for all of these. So for G, I'm going to play it here. For A, I end up playing it at the 7th fret. For D, I take that same shape up to the 12th fret. And then for B minor, I'm down here. Now, that was root position chords. So my notes go root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th, root, 3rd, 5th. And again, this sounds nice. That sounds nice on its own. But now let's look at what happens if I have 3rd and bass. So now here's my G. My root is now the top note on my B string. So now I have this. Not bad. Now if I were to go one further, I have 5th and bass on that same set of strings. So now, instead, I would have this. So I have G, so that's G, A, D, B minor. And now that I have those 3 different variants, so first we have wrong note. There we go. Now we got it. So now that I've found all of the possible inversions I can use, now what if I were instead to go through and I was to go and play them in a mixed order? So now what I'm going to do, I recommend when you start exploring this way, doing it not in time, just let yourself explore. And so let's say I start on this G, then I can go, well, do I want this A to be higher or lower than this chord? Let's say I want it to fall. What if I go... Now do I want my D to be higher or lower? Let's say I want it to be higher. And now my B minor, let's say I want it to go higher. So then I'm going to come there. So now I have this nice little... Let's try a different variation. What if I want to go lower, higher, lower? Higher than that, see what happens. Higher, higher, lower. So there's many different ways that we can work on weaving in and out and behind these things. And we can come up with our own ways of playing them. So you can just use these to explore different ways. This is a fun thing that I'm doing here that I encourage you to try, where you don't... Ah, God, that was not right. So what I'm doing there is I'm seeing how many different ways I can play this before I repeat myself. So when you do this, you're just using your ear to tell you, where do I want to go? Do I want something that's higher or do I want something lower? And then of course, once you've gotten this comfortable on one set of strings, you can also use it on other sets of strings. And you can just use it to create more expressive and more interesting kind of chordal accompaniments. And again, it's significantly more fun to practice this than it would be to just, go through the motions and do whatever it is that you're doing with bar chords, right? Because then you have options. This is actually the other thing I should say. When you do this practice, there's nothing wrong with bar chords. But one thing that I might experiment with is if I have more options than just bar chords and open chords, it lets me think as an orchestrator rather than thinking as just these are the only chords I know. So when Good Luck Babe starts, I could maybe start and play the verse with these smaller, more bite-sized chords. And I can have some little dialogue happening so that it's more interesting. And then when it goes to the chorus, I can make it bigger. Back down. So it lets you actually play dynamically and vary things while being more creative, having more fun. And it also, even if you don't want to play these chords, when you and your amazing cover band, or just, you in your living room after work playing Chappell Roan, sounds like a good time to me. If you're doing that, it gives you options to explore and do. It's some of the most fun practice that I do is finding new ways to play harmony and new ways to play these chords. So I hope you found this useful. If you did, I'd really appreciate it if you can like and subscribe. It truly helps me out more than you can know. If you are looking to take a guitar lesson with me, there's a link to get in touch with me down in the description. I'd love to work with you on your chords and whatever else is troubling you on the guitar. If you're looking for a different way to support me and what I'm up to, you can check out my Patreon. All of my patrons get early access to videos as well as cool behind-the-scenes sneak peeks that I don't share anywhere else, so I'd love to see you over there. Another great way to support me and what I'm up to is to check out my ebooks and my video courses, linked down below. It's a great way to get some more in-depth educational content from me than I could go into in a 10 to 15 minute YouTube video. And last but not least, I have new videos coming out every single Monday and Thursday, so I hope I'll see you in the next one. And until I do, I wish you a wonderful day, and I hope you have some fun playing the guitar. Thanks.